Why did flagellants defy the medieval church? Imagine living in a time when a deadly plague was sweeping across Europe, killing millions, and people felt helpless. Now picture groups of individuals taking extreme actions that challenge the very church they usually follow. That's what happened with the Flagellants during the Black Death. These groups believed that the only way to stop the terrible disease was through intense public acts of penance. They whipped themselves with whips, sometimes with metal or bone tips, to show they were sorry for humanity's sins. They thought that their suffering could persuade God to lift the plague. Their processions were loud, dramatic, and often large, with people chanting prayers while they whipped themselves in the streets. At first, the church seemed okay with their actions because extreme penance was part of Christian tradition. But as the flagellants grew bigger and more radical, they started to do things that upset church leaders. They claimed their self-whipping could replace church sacraments like confession and communion. They even said they could forgive sins and perform miracles on their own. This was a direct challenge to the church's authority, which believed it alone could grant salvation and absolve sins. The flagellants also ignored the church's rules about how religious groups should behave. They traveled from town to town, organizing their own processions without church approval. This independence made church leaders nervous because it threatened their control over religious life. The flagellants' actions made many see them as a dangerous movement that was undermining church authority. During the Black Death, many people felt abandoned by the church because it couldn't stop the spread of the disease. The flagellants offered a different way to seek divine help. Their public suffering gave hope to those desperate for relief. But their radical ideas and independence made the church see them as a threat. By the mid-1300s, church authorities started to crack down on the flagellants, trying to stop their processions and disband their groups. So, the main reason the flagellants defied the medieval church was because they believed their extreme acts of penance and their claims to spiritual power were more effective than traditional church rituals. They wanted to take control of their own salvation and believed that suffering could influence God directly. Their movement grew out of the chaos and fear of the Black Death, showing how people sought new ways to confront divine punishment when they felt the church was not enough.